This is what Karan Johar said in an interview.
And I feel when I read the reviews of KGF, and I'm like, if we made this film, we would be lynched. But here, everybody's like, oh, it was a celebration, a party, and it was. I loved it. I loved it with all my heart. But I'm like, hum ye banate to.
And that is a very interesting point. Let's break it down. Hello guys, I'm Mona Prince and I have been covering South Indian cinema from the last 5 years. The good, the bad and the ugly. Over the years, I've covered all kinds of films. Still at this point, I've just scratched the surface. But with that, I've come to the conclusion that it's way easier to make a film in the southern industry than to make one in Bollywood. And I'm talking only in terms of the logistics. It's way easier to make a Kannada film in Karnataka. It's way easier to make a Malayalam film in Kerala. And I'm sure we can assume it's easier to make a film in Mumbai. But not all Hindi films or Bollywood films are made in Mumbai. And when you travel to different Indian states to shoot a film, you need to talk to different authorities. You have to go through all of that. And when you go to these different locations and people there hear about that you're shooting a film, a lot of crowd will come there. So you have to do crowd control. You have to call the police. And for all of these things, you have to pay. It's not free. So the expense keep rising. Thus, you need more budget to make a Hindi film. So, the limelight Bollywood gets is a double-edged sword.
That we're victims of the very things that we should run away from. It's like paid PR, it's media blitz, it's projections, perceptions, all of that. I agree with that. That is plaguing us in various ways.
Now, my second point is how welcoming the South Indian audience are for their films. Just take the example of Brahmastra. If it was a South Indian film, everyone would have been raving about it. But just because it's a Bollywood film, already #boycott is trending. And that's a reality.
I feel like what they have is conviction and what we lack is exactly that.
Now, Karan Johar talks about conviction. That's what's important. That's why a RRR, a Bahubali, a KGF is doing wonders across the country and globe. And if Bollywood does that, people will raise their fingers. Now, let's compare a scene from RRR where Bheem lifts a motorcycle with John Abraham doing the same in Satyamev Jayate 2. The difference between the two is quite obvious. One is a product of superior filmmaking and screenplay, and the other is...
And I think that's when I meet S.S. Rajamouli, when I meet Shankar sir, and I meet Prashant Neel, who's directed KGF, and I meet the producers. They just know what they are doing and they don't care what anybody else has to say.
And as I said, people like Rajamouli, Prashant, they don't care about what people are saying, what other people are creating. No, they only care about what they want to make. That's it. And that's a big difference. These are filmmakers. Whereas Bollywood is run by businessmen. A studio takes a decision what to do and then they make a film out of it. Sometimes that works, but most times it doesn't. And that's the reason of the failures. There was a time that Raj Kapoor went bankrupt because he invested all his money in making his films. He was so passionate. See, passion doesn't mean the film will be great. It means they have put a lot of efforts, at least they are trying to do something different. And that's what the appreciation is for. Today, take a Brahmastra. The creator spending so much time and effort on making that film. The lead actor is also producer on the film. He has given his time to it. He's not just doing it for the money. Far from that. It is all about the passion. Now take a Samrat Prithviraj. Of course, the script has been in works for 18 years. It is a passion project. But an actor like Akshay Kumar just attached to it for a year and it just turned out a film. And we all know what happened. And there are filmmakers in Hindi who stick to what they want to tell. Sanjay Leela Bhansali is a big example. Rohit Shetty, you may not like his cinema, but he knows what he wants to do and he does that. Anurag Kashyap, maybe his films are not the most popular and successful, but he's a creator who will do what he wants to do.
Also, I think we don't have the conviction. We are victims of herd mentality. Biopics are doing well, then everybody will make a biopic. I feel like what they have is conviction and what we lack is exactly that.
And that's a big difference between the South Indian film industries and Bollywood. And it's quite simple, it's not even rocket science. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you think I made any sense in this video, check out my video on why Bollywood is not over. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.